Yes, Rascal and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you with another beer video from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar I'm still normally calling the Disco Arms. This video brings you another little story about another little can from Scotland out of my recently forgotten to cancel Beer 52 box. As I said before in my last video, I don't normally review the beers coming on Beer 52 box, but occasionally something sticks out, and this one did, with another little story attached to it. It is a fabulously named Gun-Toting Nano-Penguin, a 5.2% peach pale ale from Drygate Brewery in Glasgow, a brewery that's featured quite a lot on my reviews. I've had a fair few beers out of them. In fact, they produced my beer of the year in 2020. And indeed, I first had this beer in 2020, as you can probably see behind me, in a 500ml bottle. Slightly odd shaped bottle, it's not a normal standard shape. But it attracted my attention mostly because of the name, Penguin. As you can see, my resident penguin, Percy, who I've had since I was a kid, a number of decades now. And I've always put it off for a while. Now I've put it in the background as a little kind of mascot for my beer videos, alongside his friend, Paul the puppy. Anyway, this beer in the bottle I've not actually previously reviewed on the channel, either in a video or in a written form on our Instagram. This is because I found it, well, a bit confusing. I wasn't sure what it was. I couldn't really find the words. So I thought I'd have another go at it in the can. The other reason is because that bottle and Percy won me a Twitter competition on Drygate's Twitter. Again, way back in 2020. I won 20 quid off their webshop, which was quite handy because I was buying quite a few beers off their webshop at the time. I haven't had too many for a while. And as I say, I got this one in the Beer 52 box I forgot to cancel. So that's the background. Let's have a look at the can. I don't remember too much from the last time, but as we can see, it's a nice golden colour. There's a kind of orange tinge to it, I think, on the kind of peachiness to it. Kind of reflects the artwork on the can. All Drygate's cans now come in this fairly standardised artwork with bright colours and a nice patterning on the side. And of course, this one involving a penguin. Here's the photograph concerned that won me 20 quid a couple of years back. Alongside my actual favourite beer from Drygate is the Orinoco Coffee Milk Stout. In fact, the double Coffee Milk Stout was my beer of the year. Cute, isn't he? The top model is our Percy. Anyway, as for the beer, first thing we notice, definite fruity smell, fruity aroma coming from the can upon opening and on into the glass. Definitely a peachy aroma. It's kind of almost like wheaty, kind of rye kind of aroma as well. Smells perfectly good. Fruity pale ale. Cheers. Yeah. My favourite bit of these videos is that first sip where I either go, wow, or This one's a because I'm not sure. There's definitely a certain peach flavour to it, definitely a fruitiness to it, but there's a certain residual kind of hoppiness to it. Not grapefruit, thankfully, but a kind of slightly burry edge. I often talk about having a kind of a little bit rough around the edges. The body itself is has a good thickness to it. It's not thin and watery by any means. There's a good thickness to it, a certain amount of voluminous. I imagine, I didn't check actually, is there oats in it? I don't know. My eyesight is terrible even in this light. But it's got a certain amount of voluminous to the body. There's a kind of odd hop burr that I'm not too sure about. I'm not quite sure what it is. We'll come back in a second. I'm going to check on that. Right, so I had to look that one up. I thought it was important to get it right. Now, as we can see, an American Pale Ale with bags of ripe, juicy peach character, light, dry, and bittersweet, packed with fruity hops and pale, toasty malt. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, natural peach flavouring. Well, there we go. So no oats, as I thought, just coming from the barley and the hop kind of burr, and whatever that natural peach flavouring is. Never sure quite how natural it is, but there's a kind of edge to it. It's definitely a good peachy fruitiness. It's not amazing by any means, but it's come straight out of the fridge on what is still a hot day at the end of August in the UK. So it's a nice little afternoon tipple. Would go quite well with food. Those hop notes rounding out. A nice little lunchtime tipple maybe. Again, it's one of those, because I'm not quite sure about it, there's these kind of like odd flavours on the edges that I'm kind of not sure about. I keep going back to it. When I did that photograph originally, that won me the competition on Twitter, it was about competition was about whatever is your favourite Drygate beer. And I said in the tweet, Percy probably would say I should say my favourite is Gun-Toting Nano-Penguin, but it's not. It's Orinoco. And trying this for a second time doesn't change that. There's a nice sweetness developing on it a little bit later down the line. A nice fruity sweetness. So it is very drinkable. It's not the best. It's not my favourite from Drygate, and I've had quite a few, and I'm looking to go back to Drygate soon, I think. Pick up another selection of their pretty decent website. And they've always done me good service, getting me beers down pretty quick from ordering. A little bit of carbonation coming through there. Anyway, sadly, this beer is not actually available on Drygate's website anymore. It is owned, as far as I can tell, through Beer 52. I did have a thought they might have put these 330 cans into like Lidl or something, but again, I couldn't find any. You can correct me if I'm wrong, please do in the comments below. And until then, let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Enjoy the beers. Cheers.